This year I bought a lot of tech. Some of it was amazing, and some of it, well, let's just say my wallet deserved a little better. So today we're talking about the tech I bought this year that I regret. Okay, I'm gonna be honest here. I really don't know why I bought this thing. Initially, my concern was around my MacBook's battery health. A lot of the time when I have long editing sessions, my MacBook is just plugged in and working on a full charge. And you might say, what's wrong with that? Well, apparently this actually isn't great for your battery health. You want to keep your battery between 20 and 80% as much as possible so that it doesn't degrade over time. But if my MacBook is plugged in and charging every time that I'm working at my desk, then it's always going to be at 100%, putting it at more risk of degradation. So I thought, perfect, I'll buy a smart plug, and that way I can schedule when my MacBook will actually receive power, and that way it won't be at 100% all the time. But there's several problems with that idea. First, I'm not always on a set schedule, so there's sometimes when I need my MacBook to charge at abnormal hours. And yeah, I can manually turn the plug on and off in the app, but at this point it'd just be easier to unplug the laptop. Plus, I found out later that there's a software that can completely solve this problem anyways. You can just set a charge limit to a certain percentage on your laptop, and that way it saves your battery health. So now this thing's kind of just sitting here and I don't really have a use for it. I guess I could schedule a light bulb to come off and on, but I already have smart lights that do that. Or maybe I could schedule my fan to turn on at certain times, but it's wintertime right now. So now this thing just collects dust and I'm $10 poorer. 5 out of 10 regret. So for a long time I've used what's called a 65% keyboard. It's basically a keyboard that's smaller than a normal keyboard, and it cuts out some of those extra keys that you don't normally use. That way when I'm gaming, I don't just slam my mouse into my keyboard. But at my old corporate job, there was a lot of data entry, so I decided to get a numpad to pair with my keyboard. I decked it out with custom switches and custom keycaps, and it worked great. But eventually I just caved and bought a full-size keyboard because it was sort of annoying to have two separate keyboards floating around all the time. And on top of that, now I do YouTube, so there isn't really a lot of data entry that goes into that. So now this thing is kind of just sitting here. The only thing is I don't want to get rid of it because I actually think it looks really nice, but I'll admit that's a pretty expensive paperweight. 4 out of 10 regret. Okay, I want to clarify something really quick. This is a really good microphone. I bought this a few months ago when I started this channel up, and my initial idea was to do vlog content. And look, this is the perfect mic for that kind of video. It's light, portable, and it produces really good sound quality. Plus, that way you can set up your camera wherever and always know that you have good audio because you don't have to worry about the mic being attached to the camera, it's attached to you. But here's the problem. I don't do vlog content anymore. I'm not in public walking around with a portable gimbal or anything. I'm just right here with a tripod and my microphone attached to my camera. And instead of the DJI mic, I use a shotgun mic now. It's just a lot more convenient to use than the Mic Mini. I'd have to plug in the receiver, put on the microphone, make sure that both of them are charged. But when I just use this shotgun mic, then I just have to turn on the camera and it's gonna work right away. So now the Mic Mini, again, it's just kind of sitting collecting dust. I mean, it's a great microphone, but I guess for the wrong creator. 4 out of 10 regret. So I have a bunch of smart lights around my room, and they're really awesome. They provide a nice ambience, they connect to Apple Home, I can schedule them to come on at any point, and they actually change colors too. Fans of this channel will know that I actually moved about a month ago, which means that I had to take down and then set up all my smart lights again. I have smart lights from Philips Hue, Govee, and Nanoleaf. The Philips Hue lights were kind of annoying because you have to plug in a receiver via Ethernet into your router, but as soon as that got plugged in, it pretty much set up without issue. And the Govee lights worked pretty much instantly. But the Nanoleafs, to this day, these things are not connected to anything. I literally tried everything to get these to work. And look, I'm a tech YouTuber, right? I did some pretty nerdy stuff to try and get these to connect to my Apple Home. So after 6 hours of pain, I ended up just giving up. Now I'm resigned to just pressing the button manually and choosing between the factory defaults. And look, I know that's not the end of the world, but come on, these things are expensive, man. They should work. 6 out of 10 regret. This one kind of makes me sad. The PS5 Pro is a total powerhouse, right? The games just look so good. When I got it, I had literally zero complaints, and to this day, it's a great console. I'm even gonna argue that it's one of the best values that you can get if you're looking to get into gaming. The problem is I switched to gaming on a PC. I've had gaming PCs in the past, and a couple of years ago, I actually sold my gaming PC and switched to console-only gaming. But the allure of the PC master race just never lets up, so I ended up building another rig and I haven't looked back. The thing is, in years past, this actually would have made some sense because Sony was really airtight about keeping their first-party games only on PlayStation. And sometimes that's still true. I'm pretty sure you can still only play Astro Bot on the PS5, for example, and honestly that's one of my favorite games that's come out in the past couple of years. But most of the big PlayStation titles are actually out on PC now. God of War, the Horizon games, the Spider-Man games. Look, it's absolutely not a bad idea to buy a PS5, but if you're planning to upgrade to a PC at any point, then it's probably worth just sticking with that. 6 out of 10 regret. Okay, so the tech purchase I regret the most by far is the Elgato Stream Deck. I didn't get this thing for streaming necessarily, I just got it because it's a customizable macro keyboard. It has LED displays on each button, and they can be used to do pretty much anything that you can think of on any program that's on your computer. In theory, I thought it sounds like the perfect device for video editing. But the reality is, when I'm working in something like Final Cut Pro, I already know all the keyboard shortcuts. So in reality, this thing literally never gets used. The only reason why I've still kept it is because at some point I actually might consider streaming in the future, and at that point it will come in handy. But seriously, if you don't stream, you just don't need this thing. Yeah, I sound like a total idiot even having to say that out loud. 8 out of 10 regret. Look, I'm not telling you any of these products are bad. Although seriously, Nanoleaf, just fix your stuff, dude. But it's really easy for us nowadays to get sucked into buying new tech without actually thinking about how we're really going to use it every day. Just don't make the same mistakes I did. Save your money unless you know exactly what you're going to use your tech for.